Okay, welcome. I'm just setting up the camera so we can start. All right. So, yeah. So, anyway, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the second lecture on graph theory. We hopefully will finish next week, inshallah. Last time we were looking at section 10.2. I mean, the last video, that's what I'm talking about. And then this time around, I want us to look at section 10.3 and 10.4. 10.3 talks about graph representation, which is basically, either you use matrices or you can use tables for adjacency or incidence matrices. In 10.4, we talk about connectivity of graphs. We'll also talk about something called isomorphism of graphs. So brace yourselves and, be ready. So straight away we go direct to this. That one way to represent a graph without multi-edges is to list all edges of the graph. Another way is to use what is called adjacency lists. So for instance, we consider the graph. The given graph is a graph of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 vertices and several edges. So this graph can be represented using adjacency. Adjacency means what? A is adjacent to this vertex B, this vertex C, this vertex E. So we draw a table. So we have each vertex, and then we list the vertices that are adjacent to it. So like for instance, we said A is adjacent to 1, 2, 3 vertices, B, C, E. So if you go here, you will find B, C, E. If you look at B is adjacent to A only. Look at the graph. B is only of degree 1, remember degree, and it's only adjacent to A. And then next we see C. Well, before we go to we just say C will be adjacent to A, E, D. Let's go to the table. We have A, D, E. D is adjacent to, D is of degree 2 for information, and so it's adjacent to E and C. So you'll have E and C, or CE. And finally, E is adjacent to, well, let's check. E is a vertex of degree 3. So it's adjacent to 3 vertices, which are namely A, C, and D. A, C, and D. There we go. So that's one way of representing graphs. You just list the adjacency vertices, and that's it. You have the table. Another way of representing graphs is by using what you call the It's called the adjacency matrix. Actually, adjacency matrices are easier to operate. Remember, in linear algebra in your earlier life, you looked at what was called linear algebra. And in linear algebra, you looked at objects that were called matrices. And remember, matrix is basically just an arrangement of elements, objects, items in row, column form. Okay, rows are like this, and columns are like that. So, straight away go to the definition. So suppose G is a graph with vertices V1 up to Vn. Then the adjacency matrix denoted by AG equals Aij, where Aij, well, remember what's Aij in a matrix? It means the entry in the ith row, jth column. So this will be now determined by this entry will be 1 if Vi, Vj is in E. Basically, there's a vertex, an edge connecting vertex I to vertex J. In that case, it's an edge. Remember, this is our graph here. We're talking about simple graphs, not directed graphs. And then if there's no edge between the two, then it is 0. That's it. Example, well, use an adjacency matrix to represent the graph. Now, the graph you're given here is this one with 4 vertices, and you can see A will be adjacent. It's not adjacent to itself. Remember, there are no loops here. So A is, so you just write a matrix. Now the adjacency matrix will be, you can list in terms of A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D. Then you just write, is A adjacent to A? No, there's no loop. So is A adjacent to B? Yes, so you'll have 1. Is A adjacent to C? Yes, you'll have 1. Is A adjacent to D? Yes. So the first row of the adjacency matrix will be 0, 1, 1, 1. Look at it. 0, 1, 1, 1. Next, you have B. Is B adjacent? No. The second row, so you are going around B. You check, is B adjacent to A, to B, to C, and to D? So is B adjacent to A? Yes, so you have 1. Is B adjacent to B? No, it's 0. Is B adjacent to C? Yes, 1. Is B adjacent to D? No, 0. So you have 1, 0, 1, 0. 1, 0, 1, 0. And so forth and so on. I mean, next, let's just look at the last one. D, the last row, will have D. Is D adjacent to A? Yes, so you have 1. Is D adjacent to B? No, you have 0. Is D adjacent to C? No, you have 0. Is D adjacent to D? No, you have 0. So you just have 1 and 3 zeros. 1 and 3 zeros. And that's it. Next example. Now you can be given a matrix, you draw the graph. So now, given this adjacent matrix, draw a graph with adjacent matrix, this one. So now what do we have? Well, we have A, B, C, D again. So, 0, 0, 0, 0 means that there are no loops. Okay, when we write a nice way of constructing the matrix, anyway, previously I didn't tell you, you just write here, you label them A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D, and then you just check the adjacency. So in this case here, now this is saying 0, 0 means that A, there is no edge connecting A to A, that's a loop. Next, you have A, B is 1, and this is it. Then A, C, you have, and then finally AD is 0. Next, B to A, there is. B to C, there is nothing, 0. B to D, there is. So you'll have 1. B to A, well, sorry, I've gotten confused here. So B to A, 1. B to B, 0. B to C, 0. B to D, 1. And so forth and so on. So that's basically how you will deal with it, ladies and gentlemen. Next, I want to go to something else before I run out of the time for the... Okay, something I did say here is, okay, so when you're given the matrix, you can write this graph, by the way, in the future you will see, is the same as this graph. It's just that, the order that you write them down, okay? Later on, you will see that this is called an isomorphism. This graph is the same as the previous graph. This graph. So you see, it's not unique. What is unique is the adjacency is preserved, basically the edges and the vertices, the number of vertices, and the connectivity. Here's a remark. Note that the adjacency matrix of an directed graph is symmetric. You know what we mean by symmetric in matrices? Well, symmetric means that a matrix is equal to its transpose. It's called a symmetric matrix. And so this is always symmetric, by the way. That's 1, 2. Also, since the adjacency matrix for a graph depends on the ordering of the n vertices, there are n factorial adjacency matrices. In other words, you see, like now, here, let me just take you back. See here, I said we label them as A, B, C, D. Somebody else can decide, no, I label it as D, C, B, D, C, B, like that, A. And so you will have a different matrix, but it's still one of the possible matrices you have. So for this one now, since there are 4 vertices, the number of ways, the number of possibilities of the matrices you can get is 4 factorial, which is 24. And finally, for a directed graph, for a digraph, the adjacency matrix may not be symmetric. Why? Because for digraphs, you have direction. So you normally write, you may have an edge connecting A to B, but you may not have an edge connecting B to A. So there's no symmetry there. Okay, example number 5 here. Now this is a nice example for still the same thing, adjacency matrices, but for a directed graph. Now here, ladies and gentlemen, you forgive me because I didn't put a multi-edge. I just wrote this is bidirectional, okay? So that there's an arrow connecting, an edge connecting A to B, and an edge connecting B to A. And then the others are, well, so this is a digraph, ladies and gentlemen. So the matrix representing this will be this one. Check. A to A is 0. A to B is 1. A to C is 0. A to D is 1. Now check if we do the other way around. B to A is 1. B to A is 1. B to C, well, is 0. B to D is 1. B to B is 0, by the way, I didn't say that. Then C, look at C now. C is very interesting. There is no edge connecting C to others. It's just that it's only, so C to A, 0. C to B, 0. C to D, there's no. It's just this way, 0. And C to C is 0 and C to D is 0. So that's the matrix that you get, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, there you go. Now, I want to look at incidence matrices. I want to finish this before I go to the next section. So forgive me for, wow, this maybe may take a break. Okay, let me take a short break. No, I won't take a break. Just 2 minutes, I talk about incidence matrices, and then we can go to the next video. So, next definition, another way of representing graphs is actually using what you call incidence matrices. Remember, adjacency is for vertices. Incidence is for edges to vertices, or vertices to edges, okay? So, I mean, if an edge connects, let's say U and V, an edge connects them, then the edge is said to be incident to both vertices, or the vertices are incident to the edge. Anyway, so suppose G is a graph with those vertices and those edges, then the incidence matrix Mg equals Mij, where, now, Mij is the ith, jth entry in the matrix Mg. In other words, well, I rows, j columns. So here we will define, this will be 1 if Ej, j corresponds to the edge, is incident with, or to, Vi. Then we'll have 1. In other words, if the edge Ej connects, I mean, Vi to some other vertex, then, you know, you have 1. And if there's no edge, 0. So, a quick way of just thinking of this is just to say that what you will do is, to construct the incidence matrix, all you will do is label the columns with the edges. You see, this corresponds to the edge. So, you label the columns with the edges. E.g., column 1, you write E1. Column 2, you write E2. Column 3, and so on. Then 2, label the rows with the vertices. So, now the rows will be row 1. Remember, the rows are the ones that go like this. So, row 1, you call it V1, vertex V1. Row 2, you call it vertex, no, sorry, here I wrote R2. Yeah, so V1, then it's supposed to be V2, and I'll correct. And so on. Then check incidence in terms of what we said here. M11 will be 1 if E1 is incidence with, or to, V1. M12 will be 0 if the edge E2 is not incident to V1, and so forth and so on. Now, we look at a quick example. Use an incidence matrix to represent the graph. Now this graph is, well, it's labeled in a strange way, but okay, there it is. So this graph of ours has I don't know, 5 vertices and 6 edges. So what we say, you label here E1, E2, E3, E4, E5, E6. And then here you write A, B, C, D, E. Then you check the incidence. So for instance, A here, and E1. E1 is incident to A, so you have 1. Then you have E2 is also incident to A, so you have 1. And there is no other edge incident to A, so the rest are zeros. Finish. Next, B. So where is B? B is only incident to E6, E4, and E3. So 0 for E1, 0 for E2, 1 for E3, because E3 is there, 1 for E4, E4 is there, 0 for E5, and 1 for E6. And so on. I mean, C is only incident to 1, 2, 3, E4, 5, 6. So 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, and then this should be 1, 1, 1, by the way. Next, D, okay? For D, it's just E1 and E3. So you have E1 and E3. The rest are zeros. This matrix is not correct. Okay, I will correct in the next slide. Eh? So now I'll take a break. Yeah, let's just take a break from there. We'll continue afterwards. Okay, see you, ladies and gentlemen.